you make of it? Was it gamesmanship, or was it just like he really felt that Max was doing something wrong?
I think it could be both. Max Scherzer has high spin rates, so you're looking out for that. But even Max Scherzer said afterward, I'd have to be an absolute idiot with everybody watching me looking for every single thing to happen that I would have anything on me. Now, I don't like the fact that a manager has the right to check. Let the umpires check, because the manager could then check every single time. Doesn't make sense. You're talking about like speeding up the game, pace of play. That becomes a gamesmanship aspect of it. Keyshawn, I hate it. I hate the whole thing. It should have never been started in the middle of the season. I understand why it was. It should have been taken care of in spring training or during the offseason. Doing it now is embarrassing. When I saw Jacob deGrom, the greatest pitcher on the planet, who has never been suspected of anything, who in fact has a low spin rate on all of his pitches, being checked coming off the mound on that game, game one the other day, that's an embarrassment to baseball. Why would you set one of your marquee players up to look bad, to have to open up his belt on the field? It looks terrible. It looks like a perp walk. It's awful.
Hey, so check this out, Clay. So when you think about it, Clayton Kershaw, he doesn't like it, right? He said, hey, much like you and me both, if a manager is going to challenge, then he should lose his challenge flag, the right to challenge, if he does that. Do you agree? Because I do.
I love it. Because as long as you let have that bullet in his holster, he can do it every single inning. Why would you allow a manager to even disrupt the mindset of a pitcher? Let the umpires check when they want to check. Also, Major League Baseball, back in their studios, should be monitoring off the Rapsodo cameras. They should be monitoring spin rates. If you see an artificial spike in spin rates, get the information to the umpires right away and then check. But to check every single pitcher. Do you realize that yesterday's Yankee game, Jonathan Loaisiga gave up 4 runs in the 8th inning? 4 runs. And as he's walking off the mound after being taken out of the game, they're checking him. Well, even if he had stuff, it didn't work.
It's funny. I was going to ask you about him because as we're trying to figure out who are the guys going to be most affected by it, like, for instance, you mentioned deGrom. His spin rate actually has gone up, which is amazing. And, he obviously doesn't need to use anything. But Loaisiga was a guy, though, coming into last night's game who was lights out, for 14-plus innings. And then last night happened, and I know he was checked, but I was going to ask you, is that a result? I know after the game he said, no, I don't use anything. I don't need to use anything. But, he's not going to admit to anything. Is that an example of somebody that clearly is not going to be the same because he knows everybody's watching now?
In that case, I don't think it is, Alan, because, he's known for the last 2 weeks that they're going to check. Everybody has. So I think that if anybody used anything, they wouldn't be using. And in his previous outings, he's been lights out. Here's the deal. Everybody is going to be a suspect now every time they have a bad game. That's what baseball is set up. So if Jacob deGrom, who has a 0.50 ERA, happens to have a bad game, this is what we're going to be talking about. And I think it's unfair to the players. I really, really do. It's a bad look for baseball. The reason they're forcing it through is the first 2 months of the season, there was no offense whatsoever. They had to stop it. But they had all of this information for months. And then you have a pitcher like Sergio Romo yesterday pulling his pants down on the field. Does baseball actually think this is a good look?
I never understood that. Like when they said on the field and includes the bell, we were showing it right now on ESPN News where Romo basically he flashes the umpire. And the umpire is laughing because he realizes just how absurd this whole thing looks. But it's one more responsibility. We're also, by the way, Michael, giving umpires here. Okay, now you've got to be an expert in substances and searching people. Your TSA all of a sudden. Shoes off too, please, sir.
It's awful. I'm sure the umpires want no part of it. How would they know if it's a sticky substance or if it's sweat or something like that? And the checks they had in the Yankee game yesterday, they're like lightly feeling the glove, looking at the hat. Wow, that's really great stuff. They're really going to find stuff. I'm sure there's other places that they could hide the stuff. They should be checking every single catcher too, because the catcher could put sticky stuff. Remember, Yadier Molina once had a baseball stick to his chest protector. He had so much stuff on his chest. So the whole thing is it's bass backwards. It really is. It just doesn't make sense.